We're live, people. The 96th Academy Awards has just ended, and it has been a long-standing tradition that Dustin the Duster Mason and I always keep track of our awards predictions and compare and rank them. But this is the first time we're getting to do it on the Talking TV podcast live immediately after the show. Dustin, we've already got the reviewers waiting, which means this is already about to be one of our hopefully most viewed videos yet. You excited to talk about the 96th Academy Awards?
Yeah, boy.
Tonight's episode of the Talking TV podcast. Not at all sponsored.
Reference, yeah.
By
not sponsored by Flavor of Love.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, people, welcome back. It is another episode of the Talking TV podcast, but a very special one as we are reacting live to the 96th Academy Awards, which is just wrapped. It's whopping 3.5-hour run, despite pushing the show an hour earlier. It aired at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time rather than the usual 8 p.m.
Wasn't that good? I like that. I like that.
It was honestly, it was a much needed change. I felt like I had more energy going into the show. I feel like I was able to tolerate what I thought were going to be a lot of the show's usual antics. And I have to say that outside of just like the blatant political messaging, which was just like there because it's like, okay, this is what it's for. I have to say they almost like remembered how to produce an entertaining show. So I just wanted to say that off the bat.
Yeah.
Like the Oscars is actually entertaining for the first time in how long has it been? You've been watching the ceremony longer than I have. So
you can always find like a level of entertainment out of them, but like as far as like the hosting goes, if you want to jump right into that, like I don't think it was like Jimmy Kimmel is just not the ideal host for me personally.
But he's safe.
He's safe, but
he's
like
a safe
also,
choice. That's why they keep going back to him.
But it's also brings up the point where it's like, is he really safe? Because he's also someone who's done blackface in the past, and like he somehow hasn't had to apologize for it, but Jimmy Fallon had to, even though he's a great impressionist, and he got in trouble for doing a Chris Rock impression. But Jimmy Kimmel could host the Oscars 3 times, and he does a shitty fucking Karl Malone impression and doesn't get any shit for it and doesn't need to apologize for it. It just seems hypocritical. But what I was thinking about the Oscars before we even get into the show was like, who does the pre-show, Dominic? My number one, Vanessa Hudgens.
That's right.
And disheartening news, but she is preggers by an MLB player. And that was definitely a bit of a jaw-dropping moment for me,
to say the least. I didn't even see it because I never watched the Oscars pre-shows, but it was certainly a shock to the system, to say the least.
Yeah, that's disheartening just to see off the top of the bat. Like, oh no, Vanessa Hudgens is gonna be a mother now. That's like I ever had a chance. Anyway, let's get into the ceremonies. Like I said, Jimmy Kimmel is just not a good host, dude. When he's relying on like wordplay jokes and like puns, like I know that shit made you laugh at the lunch table in like 7th grade, but like, come on. I feel like you've outgrown that kind of humor, especially like a guy who's supposed to be telling like good shit joke. Like Joe Coy at the Golden Globes did a way better job than Jimmy Kimmel at the Oscars.
At the best, I can say that Kimmel's jokes like get a mild chuckle out of me whenever it's like a clear dad joke about like how the movies are too long and the ceremony is too long and shit.
Not
it's
even
like,
no, when he's doing like wordplay jokes, like when he's doing like a pun on the like title of the joke of the movie, like that's where I'm just like,
those don't even get a chuckle out of me.
I'm turning to my aunt, and I'm like, how many writers were on? And then she was like, oh, you didn't see on CBS Sunday Morning? He had like 72 writers. And I was like, they wrote this shit?
Yeah, right.
He needed 72 writers to write fucking pun jokes that I thought you wrote for a second. Honestly, it's like insane.
You thought I wrote them?
Honestly, the level of quality in terms of like the pun and like
I would hope. I would hope that I could.
I was like, what did they consult Dominic Rizzi for these? I don't know.
I would hope that I'm funnier than those types of jokes. That I'm funnier than those types of
Off
puns.
the cuff, maybe, but like Jimmy Kimmel is just not that. I'm sorry to throw you out of the bus. I that wasn't intentional. Jimmy Kimmel just sucks. Okay, and I wish him like it's just crazy to me that he hosted 3 times and Jimmy Fallon hasn't hosted at least once. Someone who actually loves movies and appreciates movies. Not that Jimmy Kimmel doesn't, but Jimmy Fallon can bring more to the table and like do impressions and like do more creative things like Billy Crystal used to do. Like I don't know. Jimmy Kimmel's just fucking boring now. Like when you say safe, I hear boring.
Well, I mean, that's what it means typically in the entertainment field.
Yeah,
Safe
sure,
is
sure.
boring.
I know,
Yeah.
but like I just tell it how it is. I'm the
So
Dustin.
as far as overall winners, this was unfortunately kind of a little bit of a lower year. I ended up basically my
Yeah,
rule for
right.
tonight was that if Oppenheimer was up for an award that wasn't sound or screenplay, then I got it essentially. And I think
Yeah,
the same can be said for pretty much everybody who had it. It won Best Actor for Cillian Murphy, Best Supporting Actor for
Killian.
Robert Downey Jr., Best
Hmm.
Cinematography, Best Directing. Nolan finally got his long-awaited
That
Best
was a great speech.
Directing Oscar.
Yeah, yeah.
Fantastic speech. Best Film Editing, Best Original Score for Ludwig Göransson,
The
and of course,
second.
coveted Best Picture. Yeah, Ludwig Göransson, 2-time Academy Award winner now, which is crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
and he was. I heard on the announcing that it was his third nomination, right? And what was his third nomination for?
well, was he nominated for Tenet?
I thought I didn't think he was, but like the announcer, I unless I misheard the announcer, that female announcer that comes on every time someone's walking up to the stage, or like this is his third nomination, his second win. That's what I
Yeah, I
thought
don't
I heard.
know.
But
I have to check. I thought he was nominated for 10. If not, obviously he has the win for Black Panther before this. But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, Dustin, let's just
Weird
have the
win.
discussion now. Oppenheimer, right? This is obviously a lot of people have said this is
Your
Nolan's
favorite
Schindler's
movie of
List
the
moment,
year.
essentially. It's my favorite movie of the year. Yes.
Yeah, it is
Uh,
his Schindler's List, especially since like Spielberg gave him the
right. There
present.
was a very deliberate reason having Spielberg come out
Yeah,
to present that.
yeah. And I was just it's weird because I was just rewatching a couple hours before the awards, like other Oscar speeches, and like Spielberg amongst Lucas and Coppola, they presented Scorsese his directing award as well. So I just thought that was kind of cool
Yeah.
bringing
It's like
Spielberg back.
welcoming him into the pantheon of great filmmakers, is what
And
it is.
his speech was so beautiful too. Even my aunt acknowledged how nice it was too, because like he's just like he acknowledged in his speech Christopher Nolan that like, oh, it's so nice for you guys to like think that like I can be in the same breath as you guys essentially. And that's like,
Yeah.
yeah, hell yeah. That's what us film nerds, us especially our age group that went to school that were teenagers when he was starting to really like rev his shit up as a filmmaker. Like we're happy like even if this isn't my favorite film of his or one of my very favorite films of his, it's definitely gratifying to see him win his first. And like you were saying to me, who else won their first Oscar this year? Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson.
He's
Yep.
definitely one of my favorite
Yeah,
directors
I feel
going
like that's
on.
a thing that like us film nerds, but also
Yeah,
everybody involved with the show all collectively realize at the same time, like because they
yeah.
realized it at like Jimmy Kimmel came out to announce it after the commercial
I
break,
know, right?
and it was like I was like,
Yeah.
wait, what? I'm
Yeah, and
like Wes Anderson.
he made some hacky joke about him like crocheting something, and it was just
Yeah,
like, okay, cool. No, he pulled a Woody Allen. Is what that is. It's just, but at this point, you could say it's like an amalgam of a couple directors. But Wes Anderson has been snubbed or like not acknowledged or like just not awarded so many times that I guess he was just busy, this
yeah,
night because like he pulled a Woody Allen, even though Woody Allen was chose to go to a concert recital. I was telling my aunt this. He went to do his concert recital instead of going to the 1978 Oscars, where he won Best Director, Best Screenplay, and Best Picture over Star Wars. That's kind of baller. And
yeah,
I don't think he's ever accepted any of his Oscars. I could be wrong. I know the last time he won was for Midnight in Paris, and he wasn't present for those either, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it was kind of disheartening to see to not see Wes Anderson there, but it was also gratifying and just so great to finally see him get recognized, even if it was for the short categories, even though he's made much better feature length projects, obviously. But
yes,
it's just so
agreed.
nice.
Agreed. It was nice to see not one but two directors, incredible directors, recognized for their work. But honestly, I will say that probably my biggest surprise of the night, if we're just taking overall how the night went, was how much I enjoyed the "I'm Just Ken" performance, which
That
almost,
brought the house down. Yeah.
yeah, it brought the house out. I was shocked. I was actually shocked. I'm like, wow,
That's what I wanted to talk to you
they
about.
pulled out all the stops for it, indeed.
Yeah.
And it was truly one of the greatest things. And the surprise reveal of Slash, who
Yeah,
saw that
right?
coming, was
Yeah, because I saw him on the red carpet and I was like, why the fuck is Slash here? And like, I guess it was for that. So that was a great little surprise there. And I'll tell you this, Dominic, that's who I had for best song before the show started. I thought they were going to finally be like, I thought that was going to be one of the surprises tonight was I'm Just Ken winning best song. And especially when they saved him for the last song, and like when he really brought the house down and genuinely delivered like a great musical performance live, I was like, dude, that I would not be surprised if he wins. And they gave it to Billie Eilish again.
yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like, really?
yeah.
Like,
Not
that's
to
not
mention
the song everyone was talking about when they saw that movie, whether you like it or not. Like, that's
yeah,
the song everyone was talking, and it was the more popular song, like I was messaging you about during the show. It's like, why did
yes,
that not win? Why was that not the
yeah.
favorite? Why did Billie Eilish get her second Oscar? I don't, and
Yeah,
Finny.
it's
Yeah.
really disappointing, especially because again, I'm just Ken, just from a pure entertainment standpoint, obviously is going to be the more enjoyable of the two. You know, literally one of my friends at school
Yeah,
who you've met did that as like his first song of the year when we started back in
that's right.
for our second year back in September.
And
So
it's the more
yeah, that
memorable set piece of the movie too. And like, I guess
exactly. And if you want
it's
to
not the
take like
more
which one of the two is
meaningful song, but like, yeah.
right, right, it's the Billie Eilish song to me. Again, it's the win for the message of the movie, which
It's
clearly
the
obviously has
message,
been
but
ever.
in an otherwise kind of satirical and goofy movie with like an out of nowhere serious song that wins the best original song, even though the song everyone's talking about and the song that everyone was singing after they came out of the theater, if they're gay, is "I'm Just Ken."
It's
Okay,
like when
like,
it's like when everything was awesome was snubbed back was snubbed for its win back in 2014 after clearly being the most entertaining and enjoyable song of the
I
songs that were
know, but
nominated.
it's even more painful here because they nominated it and and he performed it live and they fucking like it tore the house down. Like everyone
Yeah.
was like on their feet for that, rightfully so.
It almost made me sympathetic towards the movie, which I
I wa
famously said I
I
was
was
not
like,
a
this is
fan
the
of.
best. Honestly, I was saying this to my aunt. Like the original song portion of the Oscars is usually my least favorite part of the show, excluding like one or if it's a good year, two songs. But like usual, this is like a year where it's one good song and it was "I'm Just Ken," you know.
Yeah.
So and that was and they saved the best for last and they didn't award it. So I don't
Yeah.
understand. Did they save it last because it was Ryan Gosling? Probably. I don't know.
Probably. But also because like they knew that it was going to be the best one. Because I mean, even when they kicked off the night with the Billie Eilish song, and I'm like, yeah, this is Gosling is gonna kick ass on
Yeah,
this one.
yeah, that's a good point. Like they sandwich them. Like they start with Barbie and they end with Barbie. That's another point.
Yeah. So a quick thing that I just wanted to touch on briefly before we move on. Animation category, probably for me early on, a big
I
surprise
got that
tonight.
wrong as well.
Boy and the Heron winning over Spider-Verse. I will admit I did not see that one coming, but I
Me
guess
neither.
the love for Miyazaki, the big push for Studio Ghibli in recent years in terms of getting more so into the mainstream, the fact that The Boy and the Heron was his first film that he made in about 10 years, the fact of how meaningful and how poignant it was. Like arguably, I think this may have been the biggest wide release of Miyazaki's career. So just as
Perhaps.
far as getting around to more
Yeah,
people, the fact that
definitely.
Spider-Verse already had been rewarded, it turns
Question.
out the cliffhanger nature of Spider-Verse may have hurt it more than I thought originally.
This might be a stupid question, but I just have to ask for clarity, and you won't judge me for it. But is this his second or third win?
Second win. He's only
Yeah,
won once for Spirited
yeah,
Away.
that's what I thought.
Yep.
Okay,
And the reason for that, and I've talked about this in the past, is the fact that
yeah,
a bulk of Miyazaki's career work was done prior to the animated feature Oscar existing because it wasn't introduced until one with
2001. Yeah,
Shrek being the first one
and
to
Jimmy
win.
Neutron was
And
nominated.
Jimmy Neutron being one of the first nominees. Exactly.
That's so
Yeah.
cool. That's such a good movie too. Shout out Jimmy Neutron. Next
Yeah.
category.
Or the animated feature. All right. Well, I'm going to cover a couple categories in this one. Best actress, the biggest surprise. You know, like the poor. Well, the poor
We're
thing's
going to
sweet.
there already.
Well, the poor thing's sweep. I just want to talk about because in a strange way, poor things kind of ended up sweeping all the categories that
little bit.
Barbie. all the rest of the categories that we knew Barbie wasn't going to win, like original song,
Like
that we thought it had a chance for,
production
costume design, production design, to a certain extent, hair and makeup, possibly, but that one was more than likely going to go to Poor Things or Maestro, if
Yeah,
not
I
that.
had Maestro. I got that wrong.
But basically, the whole point that I'm trying to make is that one was what I was starting to worry about the rest of my categories, because every single one of those, like, Poor Things just came in, boom, boom, one after another. And I was like, well, and after a certain point, I turned to my friend who I was watching it with, and I was like, well, looks like Barbie's only getting original song tonight. Oh, I can't wait to see everybody complain about that later tonight. But obviously, the biggest surprise is at the end when, like I said, a 2-horse race for the longest time, Best Actress throughout the majority of the awards season. Emma Stone for Poor Things and Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon. I thought that one had it wrapped up, and it went completely in the opposite direction, to the point where it even surprised Emma Stone, because even she was like, whoa, like she didn't know how to react.
She looked genuinely surprised, and that was the best speech of the night too.
It was up there. It was her. Yeah, it definitely probably was the best speech of the night. Yeah. It was. That was actually like genuinely touching and moving in the best way possible. And yeah, like I said, that Poor Things, a movie that we saw together, and
she was exceptional in it. Even though my personal pick was Sandra Hüller, but seeing Emma Stone win another Oscar isn't gonna make me mad. You know what I mean? Like, she's usually great. Yeah, I wasn't even mad when she won for La La Land. You know what I mean? Like, she's always been like, what? Maybe call me biased because of the Superbad connection, but she's always just been just completely charming and just a complete class act and just totally affable and just has just so much range and just is wonderful in everything
she's what's it called? She's never given a bad performance in my mind. And the fact that she has,
you never saw Aloha, but like,
but what are you talking about? We watched it together.
Yeah, well, she's not good in that movie, but she's
like, not bad though.
She's not like the worst in that movie.
No, she's not bad in that movie. It's not as bad as John Krasinski blinking iMessages with Bradley Cooper.
No, Rachel McAdams was worse than Emma Stone in that. Who's also another great actress.
Yeah.
But
the win for Emma Stone tonight was nice. Really awesome.
That was me and my aunt both went like face to face, like, oh,
that was cool.
That was cool.
That was really cool. All right, so going on to the next one, Divine Joy Randolph winning Best Supporting Actress. That was pretty. That was the first one that was like, okay, this is.
Yeah, they got that over with quick.
Yeah, that one was pretty not surprising there. The big one that I want to talk about, man. This was my award of the night. I was so fucking stoked for it. Visual effects, man. Godzilla -1, winning Best Visuals. It may not have been the most deserving. Guardians 3 and the Creator, like, the visuals were probably a little bit cleaner in that movie, but just for the impact.
To see the Creator.
It's solid. It is solid.
I would like that.
I think you would like it. I don't think you would love it, but I think you would like it.
Okay.
It's a fun, solid enough action movie, you know?
That's fine. I don't know why I didn't pull the trigger and watch that movie, but I just didn't yet. But I will. I'll get around to it before the decade ends.
Yeah, but Godzilla -1, man, the little movie that could. You could tell the director and the entire team were just like so happy to be there when they got up there. I was super
little
fucking
movie
stoked.
That could. We nominated it this year for Best Picture for our awards that we do.
Yes, you did. So, and like it made my top 10 of the year. So I was
really, that's you're one of the reasons it got nominated. Yeah, I wasn't.
I figured that.
But no, I'm not saying that backhandedly. I think that's kind of cool that movie came out of nowhere and surprised and genuinely enthralled everybody that saw it. So I'm happy that happened, and I'm glad that it won the Oscar.
Yes.
What's your other one? What's the next one you want to talk about, Dom? What about sound? Did you see
sound? Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm glad because that's what I was going to talk about next. Yeah, not just sound, but zone of interest. So I think it was pretty safe to say zone of interest I had for international feature for a while now. Once I saw that it was eligible, I'm like, yeah, none of the other ones really kind of had the impact that it did. But I will say the win for best sound, again, the only Oppenheimer category that I had it winning in, that it did not end up winning in. I will say though, I'm kind of happy because the sound design in the movie was impeccable. Like the way that I almost can't describe it, but like the way that sound plays such an important part in the movie without dialogue in a way that is just totally viscerally and capturing. It's almost like he's created like a plexiglass experiment of a movie. And like I
think it deserved it.
I do think it deserved it. Yes, I really do. As
Okay.
opposed, because as good as the sound in Oppenheimer was, most of it mostly is just the sound design of how the score is layered in. But in terms of
Okay.
how the sound is actually utilized within the film, I have to say I really enjoyed that win. I really, really did.
All right. Uh, Editing, Oppenheimer won again.
Yeah.
Jennifer Lame. Uh, yeah, that was kind of expected. There's not a lot of shockers this year,
Right,
Dominic.
exactly.
I
The,
mean,
the,
all
the,
right.
the surprise, again, is not necessarily of the winners because I feel like when it comes to winners, right, I feel like if you're in our circles, after a certain point what's going to win. There'll be a few surprises here and there,
Yeah,
but for the most part, the winners always become predictable. Like I said, the interest for us really comes from how was the show going to be. And after,
yeah.
again, a couple of years of disappointing Oscars, to say the least, what I will say is that this year definitely pulled out the stops in terms of the showmanship. I thought, the presenters, the length of it didn't feel as long this year. There weren't any like crazy shocking controversies, but there didn't need to be. I don't know. I just felt like I had a good time watching it. I
Yeah.
genuinely enjoyed my time watching it. As far as
I mean, it
records,
was fine, but, like, I don't think Jimmy Kimmel added to it or anything, you know what I mean? Like,
well,
it
not
didn't
necessarily Jimmy Kimmel, just the fact that
it
it's
was
like
like
it felt nice that like, okay, finally we're getting back to like some sense of what the Oscars were, and while people will actually like want to watch it, and
it's the
basically what the
charm of the presenters and the charm of the people, and of the speeches usually, like and the flow of the show was pretty good, like, it was better than the last couple of years, I'll give it
yes.
that, but I won't give Jimmy Kimmel any credit
Well, I'm
for
not trying to give Jimmy Kimmel too much credit, but I guess
that.
essentially what if I had to say what the overall summation piece of this year's Oscars was, it would
Yeah.
be that Eric with the hyperboles, I love you. What I will say is that it proves that when you nominate movies that people actually watch and talk about,
Mhm.
it matters. And I will say that for better for worse, all 10 of the movies that were nominated for Best Picture were all movies that were watched, were all movies that were talked about, and all movies that I think managed to stick in the culture in some way, which at the end of the day is really what we're looking for. And really, if I'm being honest, what's been missing from the movies that have been nominated over the last couple of years. Now, part of that is from COVID, but like seriously, the fact that movies like in a strange way, like, how is the Batman not nominated for Best Picture, even from a technical standpoint, And the fact that
Yeah, right,
Avatar: The Way of Water, and like
and a
among many,
box
many,
office standpoint. Well,
right,
well, there you go, because Avatar was probably checked the box, so that got the Best Picture nom instead of the
right.
Batman. But, like, yeah, I get your point and your, sentiment on that one, but, like, uh, I'm looking right now at the documentary feature, which I got right, but, like
I got that one wrong. I guess because I hadn't watched any of the Oscar of
but,
any of the
like,
ones, so
I didn't watch any of them either, it was kind of a guess, but, like or, like, just, like, going off of, like, awards, sites or prognosticators or what have you, but, like, this is such an uninteresting and just boring year for documentaries, I
yeah.
would say, like, just ugh, it's not that I mean, it's not like they ever really nominate the best ones anyway. I mean, like, the last great winner was probably the OJ movie, winner, which was surprising in and of itself because it's, like, 9 hours. But, like, moving on to, like, adapted screenplay,
Yeah, the
obviously.
screenplays. Yeah,
I know you wanna talk about that.
yeah, let's talk about those. So, in a weird way, kind of both last minute shifts. I had Oppenheimer and Holdovers winning these two categories for the longest time, and then at
Mhm.
the last minute, they decided to do what they've been doing for the last couple of years with one of these. Usually, not usually with both in the same year, which is kind of whatever the first time kind of breakout film is. They reward, and in this case, you really had three of those. You had both Anatomy of a Fall and Past Lives in original, and you had American Fiction for adapted, and both of those ended up winning over kind of some of the bigger, splashier titles as well. Over Holdovers and Maestro and May December for original, and over Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest,
Yeah,
all of which were nominated. So Anatomy of a Fall winning, that being, I believe, its only win for the night
yeah.
was pretty freaking cool. I'm glad that got recognized, especially since that one kind of ended up being
It's
a little bit of
cool
an underrated power player.
No, it's cool that that won at the end. Like, it is like my second favorite movie in this whole Oscar race, I would say. Uh, the Holdovers being my favorite, and TMNT was brutally snubbed this year. But, like, moving on, the Holdovers I really just like stuck onto that pick, Dominic, because I thought like older members of the Academy, like, there was enough people be like, "This is just a classic, perfect old school screenplay," and they were going to award it, and I feel like that's the screenplay as opposed to Anatomy of a Fall that's going to be taught in colleges or screenplay classes. Like, that's, like, just like a pitch perfect screenplay that deserves a win, but I guess with the Alexander Payne attachment, whether he wrote it or not, hurt the movie at the end of the day, and they gave it to Anatomy of a Fall. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
couldn't agree more.
and that's like kind of sad. But when it goes to adapted screenplay, your boy American Fiction, Core
Yeah,
Jefferson ends
Core
up
Jefferson,
winning.
or should I say your boy, really?
Yikes! Like everybody look up his pitch for Entourage, and it's like the most like Tim Heideckerian like bullshit irony like forward pitch I've ever heard. It's like the antithesis of a Max Landis pitch when people thought Max Landis's pitches were kind of awesome when they were. Uh, American Fiction is a very good movie, and it is a cool win, and his speech was kind of nice, but yeah, I don't know if Cord Jefferson's a guy that I'm going to be 100% supportive of just because of his like attitude, but like I don't know, his attitude in his Oscar speech and as opposed to the attitude he displayed in that Entourage pitch video for The Ringer is kind of very separate in my opinion. And it's just like who is this guy really? Is he a phony or is he kind of a dick? Like
Yeah,
I don't
only time will tell.
yeah, exactly. But like, yeah, it's a great script. It probably deserved it the most out of all these. So I'm happy about that aspect. But I'm kind of surprised Poor Things didn't win in retrospect after the show, even though I predicted American Fiction.
Yeah.
Uh, but Poor Things not winning, especially with all the love that it received later in the show, was kind of puzzling.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. I'm looking up some stats now.
Yeah, like,
And
let me just ask you one more thing. Like, do you think
yes.
Oppenheimer or Barbie or even Poor Things for that matter had like a solid chance at winning for that category? And like, why was Zone of Interest even fucking nominated? Because like, like I get it. Like, you could be a good movie and not
Are
be
you
like
talking for which category? For adapted screenplay?
yeah for adapted screens. It's like, why was Zone of Interest really even nominated for? Like,
Zone of Interest, I
you could
will
be a
admit, is a
great
little bit confusing from a
you could
from a
be a
screenplay
great
nomination.
like you could be a great movie, but you could be simplistic. You don't that doesn't necessarily mean you need to nominate the screenplay. I'm not going to
Well,
say like this year was the strongest year for adapted screenplay, but like really?
What was honestly adapted screenplay was pretty strong this year. There were like 5 other nominees behind the 5 that got nominated. But what I will say about Zone of Interest is that the meticulousness kind of would cause one to maybe overlook the power of the script, which is very good, I will say.
Sure, but like it's not like typically what you think of as like a great script like filled with like luscious dialogue that you like hang every like second on. Like it's just like it's not like one of those scripts is my
No, it's
point.
not one of those scripts, but that doesn't mean that it does not have a good script.
No, yeah, but that doesn't mean it deserves a nomination. Is my point. Like that doesn't mean just because it doesn't get a nomination doesn't make it like not good. I'm just saying it doesn't deserve to be like top 5 material. But I don't. Yeah, I still have to see the movie, but I still don't think that that would even make my 5. But neither did Barbie.
Right. And like I
I'll
didn't
say that.
nominate Zone of Interest for
Yeah,
screenplay. That wasn't one
yeah.
of the things that I recognized it for.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you did, but like Barbie either, like was not a
Yeah.
movie where after I saw it, even though I enjoyed it, I was like, oh yeah, nominate that for screenplay. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
no, don't do that. Like, but American Fiction, it was a weak enough year to like not to award Core Jefferson a newcomer in a Jordan Peelian kind of way, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yes, definitely. I would agree with that very much so. So I wanted to run off some stats. Oppenheimer currently is the second highest grossing Best Picture winner since 2003 before
Okay,
inflation, 957.7 million compared
all
to
right.
Return of the King's 1.15 billion dollars. However, at only 7 Best Picture wins, I don't believe that it cracked the top 5 Best Picture winners in terms of picture winners that have won the most amount of awards. I believe Return of the King, Titanic, Ben-Hur still hold those, are a couple. There's a couple other as
Yeah.
well that I'm
What
not
about
remembering off
Forrest
the top of
Gump?
my head.
Does Forrest Gump rank high up
Forrest
there?
Gump actually, I think, only has the 4 wins. I'm pretty sure. Picture, director, actor, and screenplay. I
What
want to say.
about Cuckoo's Nest. I don't know. I'm just shooting from the hip here.
Cuckoo's Nest is so Cuckoo's Nest, and then so obviously you have the three that have the big five winners, right? Which one? Picture, director, actor, actress, and screenplay, and that's still only three movies: Cuckoo's Nest, Silence of the Lambs, and It Happened One Night from 1934. Everything Ever All at Once came the closest to that, but it missed on actor and got supporting actor instead last year.
Okay, no. How much did Everything Everywhere win?
Everything Everywhere won six or seven. So I think right now Everything Everywhere and Oppenheimer tied because Everything Everywhere was picture, director, actress, supporting actor, supporting actress, screenplay, editing. So yeah, 7.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oppenheimer and Everything Everywhere all at once. Also, my 2 favorite movies of the last 2 years winning Best Picture. So you could say that I'm almost getting really, really good at this. And I'm calling right now that our Best Picture winner a year from now is going to be Dune 2. I'm just saying it right now.
You really think Dune 2 is going to carry that long?
Yes. Yes, I do. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Even if the PTA comes out on time?
Even if the PTA comes out on time. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a week of a year it's been. And honestly, after Licorice Pizza, my faith in PTA has been shaken, to say the least.
Well, it's just one. No, my faith has not been shaken, and I think I disliked Licorice Pizza more than you did, even though I liked that movie. It's grown on me a little bit after a while, but like I still don't think it's great. But like I don't think he's avoid of making another great movie again. Like he's gonna make that movie with Leo is gonna be fire. I mean, come on,
it will be for sure. It will be good. My hope is that it, since it looks like it, I'm hoping that it's Inherent Vice but more focused.
You really think? Sure, that could very well be the case, but you honestly think like a year out, Dominic, that Dune 2 is winning Best Picture?
Yes, I do.
All right, people, you heard it. No,
I'm standing by it. I'm standing by it. I've been saying this to everybody. Well, I'm just thinking, like, look at its competition: Nosferatu, Kinds of Kindness, Civil War. Like, those are the movies that are going to stand a chance against it.
Why the fuck are you saying Civil War is going to be a Best Picture? That's hilarious.
You don't?
That's Civil War? Are you fucking kidding me? If it gets like a 90% or above on Rotten Tomatoes, I might consider it. But are you just going by those trailers? Are you kidding me right now? I'm not trolling. Are you kidding?
Nope. Not one bit.
People. Okay. What about? There's so many other ones I could just shoot from the hip here, but like I'm not gonna try to. What about like you're gonna say Civil War over Joker? You know what I mean? Like over Joker 2? Like
Joker 2 could be nominated.
Gonna be in the race. Like Joker 2 is definitely gonna be in the race. Alto Knights, the Barry Levinson, Robert De Niro
that'll be in the race for sure.
Gladiator 2, Nosferatu.
You think that's actually? It's literally gonna be all Invasion of the sequels next year for Best Picture.
Sure, but like,
yeah, dude, and if that's its competition, I'm sorry, Dune 2 is winning that in a landslide.
And Dominic, there's still more movies that need to be dated.
Oh, I know, and I'm waiting for them. I'm waiting for them to be announced because I'm telling you right now, Dune 2 is going to beat them all. You heard them here first. I don't care what they are. They're not going to stand a chance.
All right, Dom.
Just saying.
I'm just sad that Oppenheimer. I'm happy that like Christopher Nolan finally got his flowers for yet again, Dominic. What do I always say? They always acknowledge the Academy always acknowledges great artists for like their 4th or 5th best thing.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Because it would have been so much cooler if you'd gotten it for Dark Knight, Inception, or Interstellar.
You said it.
During his prime. I agree.
You said it.
I agree, but they did the same thing to Spielberg.
I mean,
as amazing as Schindler's List is, and I love Schindler's
List.
A
lot of people say that really is his best movie.
Schindler's List is the masterpiece for sure.
That is the one I need to watch still.
For sure, yes.
I know that's embarrassing to admit, but I'm not a liar, and I will admit I still need to watch Schindler's List, people, but I am aware of the movie, and I will watch it this year, I swear.
Yeah. Well. He'll get to it. No, I didn't say that. I wasn't implying anything. Honestly, it took me a while to watch it. I didn't watch Schindler's List until 2020. That was the first time I watched that.
Depressing, but every time I see a clip of Ray Fiennes in that, I'm like, how have I not seen this movie? Yeah, I was like, this looks way cooler than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Jews.
Yeah. So like I said, movies that everybody was excited. But let's talk about the one snub, Past Lives, which everyone was hoping would get nominated, and it got absolutely zilch zero squat. Past Lives, a movie that I thought was very good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it either, but it was overrated.
I definitely think it got a little overhyped, and I was like, okay, like let's see what Celine Song's next movie is. At this point, I already have a bad feeling she's going to go the way of Emerald Fennell, and Promising Young Woman was a much better film
She
than
didn't
Past
win
Lives, I thought.
screenplay at the end of the day, so she's not Emerald Fennell.
Exactly.
And Anatomy of a Fall, I was so happy Anatomy of a Fall won it at the very least, just because Past Lives didn't. Because Past Lives is just, to me, one of those pointless, like overdrawn, overly melodramatic and it just didn't work for me, and it was just so full of itself and so like just tear jerky in a very forceful way, and like just pointless at the end of the day. And like I don't know if I think Celine Song has as much potential as everyone claims she does, just going off that one movie. And there was a couple okay, the performances were fine in it. That wasn't my problem. It was just the entirety of that movie was just bland. There's a scene where Greta Lee just says the word Asian 11 times. I counted, people. She says it 11 times to John Magaro. As soon as I saw that scene, didn't I message you? I messaged a couple people. I was like, she says it 11 times in the scene. This movie better not win a best original screenplay. Your best original screenplay winner, people. And I'm so happy that didn't happen. Fuck you, Past Lives.
Letting his true thoughts be known. He never holds back, to say the least. So with that being said, as far as ranking best picture winners, I want to rank the 10 best picture winners, and then I want to move ahead and check out what we've got to look forward to this year as far as both movie and TV goes. So this is a new feature I think that we haven't done yet, but since we pretty much ranked things. So as far as my rankings go, I'd have Barbie at 10. easily the lowest one that I would have. Barbie at 10.
Okay.
I would have probably, so because I rearranged a lot. I'd probably have Maestro at 9. I would have, damn, this is really tough. I would have Killers of the Flower Moon at 8. I've had Anatomy of a Fall at 7. I would have American Fiction at 6. I would have Zone of Interest at 5. I would have, where did I put Past Lives? I screwed up. Put Past Lives at 8. Kills of the Flower Moon 7. Whatever else I had above that at 6. I'm doing a really bad job here, but screw it. We're doing it live. The point is that Poor Things would be 2 and Oppenheimer would be 1.
I'm just glad you went first. Okay. The only one I have not seen, Dominic, is, as you probably know, is the Zone of Interest. So going from 9 to 1, 9, Past Lives. Fuck you. 8, Maestro. 7, Barbie. 6, Killers of the Flower Moon. 5, Poor Things. 4, Oppenheimer. 3, American Fiction. 2, Anatomy of a Fall. 1, The Holdovers.
Yes. Perfect, if I do say so myself. Now, with these last couple minutes, Dustin, let's do some looking ahead to some movies that we have coming out later this year. With Dune 2 out of the way, I think I'd say that March is not exactly looking like the best of months, considering the fact that we have so much to look forward to. We have Immaculate starring Sydney Sweeney. We have Godzilla and Kong, The New Empire. We have the Roadhouse remake with Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor. We have Love Lies Bleeding with Kristen Stewart and Katie M. O'Brien. Yep. I'm very excited to watch that movie. I'm very excited to watch that movie. I cannot wait. I'm hoping so. It better fucking be. It better fucking be, because it has been so disappointing this year.
Dude, I just saw Imaginary, the Jeff Wadlow experience.
How bad was it? How bad was it?
It's even worse than Mean Girls. It's the worst movie.
How is that possible?
It's the worst movie.
How is that possible?
Because it's directed by Jeff Wadlow. That's why.
How does it keep topping myself? Is my question.
Dude, it's not even worse than Truth or Dare, but it's still dog shit. He's the king of dog shit. Jeff Wadlow.
Do I need to watch that and Madam Web just so I can have a top 10 worst of this year? Because I don't even like feel like I'm gonna get any joy watching these movies.
Dude, you've just been skipping a lot of these movies. I've noticed. Like
I just have no time, and there's no point.
Either. You didn't watch Lift either.
No, I did not.
I did not.
That was because I just heard it. I'm just like, I'm hearing that these movies are shit, and I'm like, what's the point of watching them?
There's been like literally all of the mainstream releases this year. So the two best movies I've seen this year have been the Sundance movies I've seen, A Real Pain and
A Real
D.
Pain in Dee. Yeah, I'm waiting for Dee has a wide release date right now. I'm waiting for A Real Pain to get a release date. You think they're gonna do an awards push? Or you think they're gonna screw it over like they did when you finished
No,
Saving the World?
no, Dee is like July or August.
Dee has a release date. I'm saying for A Real Pain. Do you think
Oh,
they're gonna give that an awards run? Or no?
I think they should. That should come out like September, October if they wanted to, because
Okay.
that should definitely be in the screenplay conversation.
Okay.
Absolutely, and Kieran Culkin should be in the conversation right now for actor.
Got it.
But that's talking very early, like I
Yeah.
said.
So real quick, so Civil War, you're not looking forward to that?
I mean, I am. I'm gonna watch it, obviously. I mean, it doesn't help that Men was kind of like you know,
I don't know. I love
I
Alex
didn't
Garland. I'll watch
I didn't
anything that he
hate it.
does.
I mean, I'll watch. I mean, I'm not saying I dislike Alex Garland, Dominic, but I'm just saying Men was a disappointment, and I don't know. I don't. These trailers, sans Jesse Plemons, haven't done anything for me. And that one shot at the end when it's going over like the Capitol building or whatever, like you see it like the drone shot in DC, like that looks cool. And every scene we see of Jesse Plemons, everything else looks really stilted and awkward and weird. Like like that line where Wagner Mora, fucking Pablo Escobar, is like, there's a civil war, right? Like it's like,
Yeah.
what is this fucking goofy shit? Like, you think that's gonna be the best picture race? I'm sorry. Like, I just thought that was hilarious.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice, especially because like they just don't reward Garland the way that they should. And Garland, I think, is a really underrated filmmaker when it comes to that. And I'm
He
really
is
looking forward to.
underrated.
But the thing that
This
I'm looking
doesn't
forward
look
to is when
great.
Garland has like a canon. You're like Denny Villeneuve is almost there. Like when he has like a canon of like 10 films. That's what I'm really looking forward to, because it's always cool to like see filmmakers when they hit that stride. Paul Thomas Anderson is hitting that this year. I'm interested to see where he comes to. Baumbach has had his for a little while. Because once you get into like the 10-15 range,
Oh
there's
yeah.
usually like
What if the
ascended
Bob
levels.
Back movie just? I'm not saying this is a
Well,
definite.
they said that there was more information coming soon since they announced the cast. So,
But no, that's gonna be a regular, like, typical, like, Bombach low key movie. But what if that just became a Best Picture contender out of nowhere?
I
Like, that would be
mean,
so awesome.
it's not completely out of the realm of possibility,
That
you
would be
know?
so cool. It would be that. Well, it already looks like it's the type of year that Adam Sandler could slip into the Best Actor race
Yeah, long
finally,
past time. Would be long past time, to
and
say
he
the
could be
least.
their one Netflix like addition to the Best Actor race, like this year with Bradley Cooper and the other one
Yeah.
that got in, Coleman Domingo.
Yes, exactly. So as far as other movies to look forward to in 2024, like I said, if Paul Thomas Anderson's rumored adaptation of Thomas Pynchon's Vineland comes out this year, starring Leonardo
I think
DiCaprio,
it
Sean Penn, and
will.
Regina Hall,
It will.
Nosferatu, The Fall Guy, Kinds of Kindness, Maxine, which has a release date July 5th,
Oh
Hitman,
yeah. Oh, Dominic, that's the one. That you said it.
Hitman. Oh,
No,
Kinds of Kindness.
Hitman for Best Picture. Kinds of Kindness is going to win Best Picture.
You think
I
so?
think. I think if I had to like just gun to my head, who's going to win Best Picture next year? Otherwise, you're going to fucking die right now. Give me an answer right now. Otherwise, I won't kill you. It's going to be Kinds of Kindness, because Yorgos Lanthimos now, I feel like he's finally like he came so close to winning this year. I feel like for director and picture, honestly, and Tony McNamara came mighty damn close for screenplay. But like, if that movie is ambitious and as visually entrancing as Poor Things was, if not more so, and the performances are more daring, which I think they might be because they are all playing like multiple characters in them, that could be an early and vital Best Picture contender.
Interesting. Well, we will have to keep track of it once the promotional material comes out. I'm interested to see what this one is about, considering that Yorgos, like I said, has pretty much made his stamp as far as being a very interesting and
That's the
different.
Jesse Plemons movie that's going to be the Best Picture contender, not Civil War.
Not Civil War. All right. Well, we shall see. We shall see who turns out to be right. It will probably be you, but still. Another big one that I wanted to talk about, considering the fact that we know nothing about this movie, but given that it is a legendary filmmaker making his return and making this film entirely independently, Megalopolis, despite having rumored to have had a
Oh
trouble.
yeah, dude, good pull.
You know, it's a movie that I've been looking forward to for quite a while. Again, a
Absolutely.
massive cast, boasting the likes of Adam Driver, Nathalie Emmanuel, Lawrence Fishburne, Shia LaBeouf, Giancarlo
Aubrey
Esposito,
Plaza,
Talia Shire, Aubrey Plaza, John Voight, Forrest Whitaker, Jason Schwartzman, Dustin Hoffman,
DB Sweeney.
DB Sweeney, James Remar, Chloe Finneman, Catherine Hunter. The list goes on and on. Grace
I mean,
Vanderwall.
you said a lot of them.
What are the odds that this movie ends up being like, you know, the big comeback? If Coppola, you
I
know,
mean, Coppola has won his awards, though. I mean, it would be a nice surprise for him to be into the mix, but I don't know if he's going to be like a vital contender, like that's going to be like a favorite to win. Maybe it's gonna be like a nice welcome back to like the awards race, but like I don't know. Like he's already made his mark on the Oscars, and we all know that the Oscars are picky about giving multiple awards to certain people, unless they're Emma Stone or Anthony Hopkins.
yeah, yeah, agreed. Yeah, so just some other movies that I'm looking forward to for the rest of the year. M. Night Shyamalan's Trap and his
Oh,
daughter,
yeah.
Ishana Night Shyamalan's The Watcher is both a look, which is pretty interesting. Deadpool and Wolverine, Lynn Ramsey's Polaris, Andrew Arnold's Bird. From A24, we have I Saw the TV Glow and Sing Sing. Steve
Oh,
McQueen's
Dominic.
Blitz.
You know what I wanted to talk about? I know it's not a movie that's probably gonna come out this year. It's probably gonna be next
I
year,
have to put the
and
Wild
it
Robot, but
and it's by my most anticipated movie of my lifetime, literally, because I'm probably gonna kill myself after it. It's the Quentin Tarantino movie, The Movie
a
Critic.
movie critic, which does not
Uh,
come out until next year.
I know, but what was the big, like, rumor today, Dominic?
That Shane Gillis was going to star in it.
Oh my god.
Could you imagine?
That would, like, explode my mind if that actually happened.
Could you actually imagine if that happened?
It's coming from, like, a very questionable source that's very 40-60 with the reporting, but the fact that this is, like, even, like, getting any attention at all is, like, shocking to me, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, his rise is, like, catastrophic, but sort of earned because this
Yes.
if you've seen this guy's sketches and acting and yeah, I'm not gonna say he has like a wide variety of acting. He hasn't been in any movies actually. It's mostly been television and sketches, comedic sketches on YouTube primarily. But the motherfucker has it. He's like a cross between Danny McBride. He's like the new Danny McBride in terms of his delivery, like his bluntness, and he's just a natural comedic performer. Like he doesn't feel amateurish at all. So the fact that Quentin Tarantino is perhaps aware of him, and we all know, well, a lot of us know in the film sphere that he is like a common patron of the Comedy Store. Like he is very aware of a lot of the comedians that are around, that the fact that he might want to go in that kind of direction for this movie is just like, it's like he's reading my mind. It's like it would be amazing if he got Paul Walter Hauser like it was originally reported and rumored months ago, Dominic. But the fact that it might switch over to Shane Gillis, I'm happy with either one, honestly. Either way, that movie's going to be incredible.
Yeah. That movie is already my number one most anticipated of
It's
2025.
already the number one movie of that year.
Easily. Easily.
Already. Like,
Yep.
that's how amazing of a film. It's not even a bias we have, really.
No,
Like,
it's
that's
just an
how
objective fact
consistent
at this point.
that's how consistent he is and how
Yes.
inconsistent most filmmakers are,
Yes.
that he isn't.
And just so you and the public knows that when leading up to when the movie critic comes out, we will be running, as I call, the Quentin Tarantino retrospective, courtesy of the Talking TV podcast, where we'll be doing full watch-alongs and commentaries of each of his movies, as well as a full-length podcast afterwards, breaking down and discussing each element of every film. Dustin, I assume that you will be on for a decent amount of those episodes.
Oh, for sure, if you want me.
Of
Sure.
course. And like I said, as we wrap up and begin to get out of here, like I said, it's been another fun-filled night watching the Academy Awards. It's glad to see that show's starting to make just a little bit of an impact again, you know, even if it's not the same as it used to, and even if movies don't mean the same as they did culturally. I also thought the announcements that they made about the strikes and honoring all the Teamster union people and everyone that helped out there at the beginning, I thought that was really good. Just as far as some housekeeping goes, like I said, some upcoming episodes that we have, we'll be doing Love Lies Bleeding and the return of Invincible next weekend. Weekend after that, we'll be doing Three Body Problem and Roadhouse, and then we'll be wrapping March with Godzilla and Kong, the New Empire. Also, some things to look forward to. In the summer, we'll be running House of Cards and The Boys recap episodes, full-length recap episodes on YouTube. Yes, those will be
You're
making
doing
a
House
comeback.
of Cards with Kevin Spacey?
Yes, House of Cards is Kevin Spacey. House of the Dragon from Game of Thrones.
Oh, I thought you said House of Cards. Whatever. Play that back, people. I thought
Yeah,
you said
yeah, you'll
House
have to
of
play
Cards.
that back. I could have sworn I said House of the Dragon. If not, it was a simple Freudian
Okay.
slip.
Oh, I was like, whoa, you're doing you're doing fucking House of Cards? That's
Listen,
awesome.
I would do a rewatch of the show. House of Cards. That's a great fucking show. But no, but like I said, look forward to. I have announced it earlier on the show. But for people who are fans of Talking Thrones, when that aired 2 years ago, we will Luke of Luke Reviews and I will be co-hosting Talking Lost, in which we will be breaking down each and every episode of Lost for its 20-year anniversary this year.
Let me know when you're doing Talk and Go On with Matthew Perry.
How many seasons did that one last?
One, but there's 23. I mean, there's a lot to talk about.
Well, we're looking for shows that actually had like a lasting cultural imprint. So, just saying, for a one.
You
season
see how
Matthew
rude
Perry
your
show.
host is, people? Just not acknowledging how great Go On, starring Matthew Perry.
Well, consider the
Paul
fact that this is the
Feldman.
first time I've ever heard of the show Go On.
I've mentioned it to you.
Never. This is the first time I've heard it.
It's the first time that you acknowledged it because
First time I've heard it. Literally first time I've heard it. So
you never knew it existed?
Nope, never knew it existed.
All right, look it up. It's good.
All right, I believe you. I believe you that it existed.
Tyler James Williams was on it. Julie, the mom from Transformers, is in it as a lesbian.
Julie White.
What? You knew it. You knew exactly her name too.
Of course I knew it. Well, she's also in 6 Feet Under, and she's been in a couple things.
Yeah, but she's great on that too.
All right,
Good
so
show.
Like I said, Matthew Perry also unfortunately among the in memoriam tonight.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Indeed. So that being said, Dustin, you'll be on for many more episodes as well for this month's Actors Hall of Fame. If I'll have you. Yeah, please. Like you're not already a part of the network. Dustin, where can the good people follow you on the interwebs?
They could follow me on youtube.com /Mr. G Movie Reviews. I've been itching to like do like a recap of like just like me just talking, maybe not editing like a whole video, but just me just talking. Like, maybe I'll do that. Are you interested in that, Dominic? Maybe
I would be interested in that.
Okay, cool. Thanks for the enthusiasm. Letterboxd.com, Dustin Mason, and then Twitter, Duster. Dustin Mason.
And of course, you can follow me with everything going on at Movie Nerd Reviews across all platforms, at Official Talking TV Podcast across all platforms. Subscribe to us if you're watching us on YouTube, on Twitch. This episode will be available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts tomorrow. And as always, people, 12 seasons in a short film and watch more fucking movies. We'll see you guys next week.
Praise TV
Podcast.
Yep.